Hello, precious people. I'm Jacqueline Parks, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be painting a grizzly bear. So this is going to be something kind of new to me. I've not done before a bear, but I've done a lot of pet portraits, and I've done tigers and lions. So this is not too hard of a what do you call it? Not too hard to do this bear. So off of Pixabay, which I've told you copyright free on Pixabay. So I found this image of a bear, which I've seen some other people who've done some watercolors of this bear. So he's kind of, he kind of looks cool. He's just hanging out in the water. He's kind of got a little bit of a smile maybe on his face, but anyways, I think that that's gonna be good. So I was gonna wait and see if anyone else wants to join today live. I need to check and see if we are going live. Let me check on YouTube real quick and make sure y'all can hear me. And let's see. Definitely go to my channel. Gotta go to my channel and see if there's any lives going live right now. It does say we're going live. That is a good thing. I'm gonna pause. I can hear me. That's good. All right. So now I need to go back to my OBS. There we go. All right. So if you guys give me some hearts, give me some comments in the chat, and just let me know where y'all are from today. And let's see. Oh, I wanted to talk to you guys too about this past weekend. So, someone is trying to call me, and we're just going to say no to that phone call. We don't need to be answering any phone calls right now. So, sorry if you're calling me. Anyways, so I did a craft show this weekend, and here is my booth set up, which my lovely husband and my stepson were helping me to set up and get it all ready. And I really had a good time at this festival. It started off a little chilly in the morning, but then in the afternoon warmed up and it was a wonderful day. And last year when I did the Honeybee Festival, it had a thunderstorm coming through late in the afternoon. So we had to pack up early and leave. So this time we did not have to pack up early. This was wonderful. So, yeah, we actually had a good turnout. Lots of people. They had a little dog parade, which I would have brought my little Yorkie, but he does not like people, so he would have been growling and barking at people, and that would not have been good. So we did not bring him, but we did enjoy seeing all the puppies go by. They were really cute, and I guess someone just left a message. So anyways, let's get to it. So here's my little drawing, if you can see it. I like to use Da Vinci Eye, and you need to use an anchor when you're drawing with the Da Vinci Eye, which I use a little magnet of a picture. But if you guys don't have Da Vinci Eye, I suggest you get it because it helps with learning to draw. And, sometimes I draw without it from plein air, but when you have a photo reference, which I always like to look at my phone for a photo reference, and that's why I like having my new camera, because I can use my phone during my live. So, alrighty, let's see what's going on here. I'm gonna just get busy with it. This is a size 5x7, so I cut the paper a little bit larger so I can mat it to 5x7. And today's brushes are gonna just be, I don't know, because it's a smaller painting, I don't need really big ones. That one's in there pretty good. Ooh, here we go. And we may need this little tiny one, so I'll get that one out. This one is a nice big mop size brush. And if you take my classes, you'll recognize this as one of the sets that I tell you to go get from Michael's. And it comes with 5, which I've lost one of them. I don't know where the other one went, but that's okay. Oh, another thing I don't really tell people to get, but is very helpful, is a gel pen. And you usually can get this set of 3 with different sizes at Michael's for like $5. So pretty good. Deal. All right, so I'm gonna put that down off to the side, and we'll get going. Let's see, I already sketched it, and now we're gonna be doing some of the first wash, which, look at this, I already have some brown on my palette, which is great, so I can use it. Let's see. And so he's kind of like a burnt umber color. And I'm just gonna go in there real easy with the watercolor. And you notice I did not wet my paper first. So sometimes you can do that, sometimes you don't have to do that. It's a preference of what you guys like to do. As you start doing this and practicing every day, you'll get better and better. And then you'll end up having a style which comes out and that you'll prefer doing. So I just like this. This is really good. So far, so good. And what's great about when you get that first wash on there is, I'm going to use a little bit of Payne's Gray just for this part of his paw, because it's got more of a bluish tinge in there. And see how I already added that in there, and you can mix colors on your paper, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. And yeah, I just like to add a little bit of that Payne's Gray. So if you don't have Payne's Gray, it's a very versatile dark color. I use it kind of in place of black. And see those claws on there? They're gonna be white, and I haven't really masked them off. What I'll probably do is go in with my white gel pen and just give them some definition at the end after everything's dry. So now I'm going to get that dark brown going again, because look at up here. This is real dark. And standing up, he almost looks like he's ready to fight. Is this bear ready to fight? I don't know. I did hear about that one couple and their dog that went camping and they got attacked by a bear and ended up not making it. So kind of scary. Bears can be scary. They look cute though, don't they? They look like little teddy bears. Not really. They're kind of a fierce creature. And look at that. Isn't that turning out pretty good? I think so. And you want to leave some of them highlights. And if you went too dark too soon, guess what you can do? You can use your paper towel and you can lift. See how I'm lifting that up? And that just gives it a nice highlight. There we go. I might do some highlight right there. And it's very important to keep your reference photo right by you so you can see it. Otherwise, you will start just like imagining what a bear looks like, and that's not the same as painting a bear. Unless you're really good with you have a photographic memory, which I do not. I need some of this yellow. I'm gonna do something because there's kind of a pretty color in there, and I'm gonna give him some right here. And see, I'm still using this big brush, but I have a lot of control still with it. And I think with this smaller size, I'm going to be doing really good on painting him pretty quick, I think. And get some more yellow. No more yellow. The burnt umber, whatever I started off with, he's not 100% that color the whole way. And that's why we gotta keep looking at our reference photo. Otherwise, we're gonna just think a whole brown bear, grizzly bear, is just one color all the way, and it's not. And some people like to paint backgrounds first. I'm okay with painting the subject first and then the background. But you can do it either way. There's no right or wrong. Just whatever you're comfortable doing. And sometimes when I do buildings, I'll do the background first. That's kind of fun to do this guy. Let's see. I'm going to add some more. See, this is where it's starting to get some more detail in there. And I like that I can still see my pencil because I need that for guidance. But yeah, he's turning out good. I'm going to add some dark in here. I might need to mix some more. That's another thing. When you're mixing your paint colors, you may end up needing more. And if you don't mix enough, then you may not be able to match. But I'm pretty good at figuring out what I already mixed. So I'm almost to a stage where I'm going to have to let this dry a little bit. Let's see. Yep, I'm getting it a little darker right around the eyes. And I love how watercolor looks. Y'all, this is just so fun. So fun to paint. Because I love how this water is just melding with the already wet on there. Look, he kind of does look like he's smiling, even though he's probably ready for a fight. He's ready, huh? He's ready for a fight. But, let's see here. Oh yeah, he's looking pretty good. Okay, I may end up doing a little bit more dark in here and then down in here. That's going to be end up black probably in here. But for now, I'm just going to make it this color just to get some of that in there. I just want to have a little definition right now. See how I'm like working that in there? There you go. I might need to take that out because this is definitely like a more bluish, that Payne's gray color. Same here. Some of this is okay. And we'll get to that fur in a minute. But he's looking like he's coming along, huh? Let's see. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let me get a little bit more of this yellow color going. And just around his eye right there. And this is more of a darker brown. And see, I'm just letting my eye work with that. I don't want any harsh edges right now. So I gotta be super careful. But yeah, the craft festival, I had a good time meeting new people, and I have a few come into my class on Sunday, who I met, and I also got some commissions, so that's really great. And let's see. I had some already commissions I need to finish up with today and get those ready. I'm going to deliver some tomorrow. Definitely this week have some deliveries. And I'll be at the Boss Babes Arts and Crafts Festival next weekend. So I do kind of want to get some extra paintings done for that. And that one's inside. I kind of like it because it's inside. Look at this. I'm just mixing this up as I'm going. So it just looks really good. And I like how that just kind of blends in there. And this paper is really good. This is Arches, which is a good, it's a good brand. And just getting that in there. And some people ask, like, when do you know you're done? And for me, it's just kind of, if there's nothing else I can really add, then yeah, we're done. But look at how his little face is turning out really good. I'm liking this so far. But I'm always saying, you know, sometimes we try and get too much detail in there, and then we're struggling to get all the details in there. And our minds don't really need all that detail, just a little bit of detail. Let me get some of this more. This color is super pretty. Let's see. There we go. I like how it mixes. Oh, Reese, you're scaring me. Could have totally messed up. Sorry, folks. It can be a pain. He's a pain. Also, another cool thing to remember when you're painting is that you'll want to work in sections. So, like, see how I'm starting now to do this bottom portion? And just trying to get this more defined. There we go. Kind of following my pencil lines in there. But it is kind of going down into this section all by itself. Let me see. There's 4 of those claws. I may not have did that right, but that's good. highlights are real good. They're looking pretty good. Sometimes you need to rinse that off before you start painting something. There we go. Okay, so you know I keep 2 water cups on my desk. So I use one for clean water and one for rinsing my brush off. And see, let's get that. So let me see if I can do this real quick. I don't want it to get too blendy in there, but I want it to be kind of this darker. It needs to be a little darker. One more blue. There we go. So that's turning out pretty good. Keeping my lines there. And looking like a bear. So when I'm working in sections, like see how wet this is down here? I can't really add any definition in here. Up by the top of his back, we can start adding something. And I know in the photograph, you can't really see what's in the background, but it is green and it's blurry. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make some blurry green. And this I am wetting first, because then it makes it so the green can just kind of follow the water. Get rid of that fuzz. Fuzzy fuzz. And I try to keep all animals out of my craft room. But it doesn't always work out. Sometimes my little black kitty comes in here, Choo-Choo, and tries to hide somewhere. Oh, go off there. But I did read once that people know a real Rembrandt from a fake because of the cat hair from his pet cat is in his paintings. So there you go. My pets will be my authentication for my paintings. So anyways, I'm gonna let that dry for a minute, and then I'm gonna mix some greens up for that. And a lot of people, they mix green by using like ultramarine blue with their cadmium yellow, things like that. And what I like to do is buy my sap green. I have a little tube of it, and as you can see, my container right here is pretty empty of green. So I may have to mix some. Let's see, get some blue. Some blues. And I was thinking I may do a video that's kind of like a master class for mixing colors, because I know that for me it just kind of comes naturally, but not everybody has that, and they may need to learn how to do it. So right now I'm just putting this green on here. I kind of put some pencil marks for where I want some trees, like their trunks. And right now I'm just going around, make sure I don't go into my bear. I've got that piece of fuzz still. Go, little fuzz. All right, so now I've got that, and I want to add some of the trunks. Tree trunks. And I like how that's looking. Another thing that's really cool to do, I use a smaller brush to do it, but some splatters. So just get some splatters in there. But you've noticed the background in that is definitely dark. And right now mine's pretty light. So we're going to stick with the light for now, just because I'm really liking how it's working. And my paper towel is saturated, so I may need to get another one. But I may end up using this just real quick. Get that highlights back. Yeah, that's looking better. And because like the top, his fur is definitely blending in with that background. So I'm probably gonna have to go in there with some darker colors and just get that going. But with watercolor, you just add washes of the same color over and over, and it will start to look like what you're painting. But there's something where you try and get the same value right at the beginning, without having to put wash after wash after wash to build it up. And I'm not really sure what it's called, I forget, but it's not really what I do, because I don't want to paint real thick right off the bat. I like doing this light wash and then going in when it's dry and adding details. So that's kind of my preference, but y'all might have a different preference than me. So let's see. Need to do some of this background too. So I may end up just very carefully doing this. See, the background is not the focal point. The bear is. So I want to make sure I keep that the focal point. But you can tell there's a little bit of a stream right here with some rocks. So I'm really liking how that's looking. I'll do that pretty good right there. Get that right up in there. All right, so now that's done. Let's see. And then the other side has the same kind of color. So let's see. Get that going in here too. Y'all can see what I'm doing, I hope. Move my wrist out of the way. So now, kind of blending into this, there's some rocks right there. Now look at that. That's looking pretty good. And then what I can do is go in there and do this darker Payne's gray color in there. And this is just kind of getting the definition of those rocks. But it's in the water, so it doesn't need it's not going to be super defined. But, and then this is kind of like little ripplies or pebblies or something. What I want to do, if I can do this, cover my bear, and then that's going to look just like the little pebbles. See? Pretty cool. Love how that looks. And then the other side is just going to be dark. So I add this and go around his little cheeks. Let's see how that's working out. It's looking pretty good so far. Get that closer to the bear. So now that's going to blend into that. I'm going to add a little bit more detail maybe. As that dries, I can add some more splatters. You'll see there's some definition there and there. I already drew it. And maybe right here. And right here. And see how that's still real wet and it's just kind of bleeding into it, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. Now I'll go back in with a wash and it'll start to look a little more like water or something. There we go. Get rid of that. And let's see. We'll look at the photo again so you can see it up close. Let's see. So I'm looking at the picture and next side by side. So the picture that I have is a lot darker than what I've painted so far, but that's okay because I'm going to be going in there with my second wash, third wash, whatever it is, and start adding in some dark values. Because you don't want everything to be the same value. That's kind of, I think, where some people get a little, they get hung up on it because they're like, the whole bear is this dark brown. So they think, okay, I gotta paint the whole bear dark brown. And then they don't have any values. But if you really look, you can see there's darker areas and lighter areas within the shadows. And that's what I'm trying to pay attention to right now and kind of paint that. And so everywhere that I see that looks kind of dark to me, I'm painting in. And everywhere that's kind of light, I'm leaving that. And see how I'm going to make these little fur, the realistic fur is taking this dark and going up into the light. And so that makes it look like it's kind of the fur from the bear. And then we'll do that also here when that dries. But right now it's not dry. So we're going to leave that. So now I'm looking at the claws right in here. So I'm going to keep going down into that section. And then this is going to go around here. Give that a little more definition there. And also right here. Let's see, this is already getting lighter in here because we're getting into that out of the shadows part, but into, it's still dark right here. And then I need a little bit more Payne's Gray to go underneath these claws. There's like 4 of them. I'm going to definitely need my white gel pen. Yep, it's kind of going up in there. But look at how I just drop in a little bit here and there, and it just adds so much to that. Get a little more Payne's Gray in here. But some of this is super dark. And some of this is lighter. Now I'm going to get some of this kind of orangey yellow color. I'm going to mix it in with my Payne's Gray brown mix and go in there. And see how it's already blending in there? It's looking really pretty. And in here too. It's so subtle. It's hard to really tell you. You just kind of need to start looking at photos, look at what's happening in them. Let's see. I'm gonna keep some of that fur highlight right there. And then a little bit in here is definitely, and it's almost like his fur is a little bit green in there, to be honest. But I'm not gonna make him a green bear, but I'm definitely gonna have some of those tones in there to make it look a little bit more like it's a highlight, to be honest. And then this, you can tell there's a little bit of an area in there. There we go. And then I might do some more in his ear on this side. And see, I'm still using this really big brush. I haven't changed, because I'm using it really in a controlled way. So I may end up going back, but right now I'm okay. See how I'm doing this, kind of connecting all of that. And originally, I was probably doing this a lot darker in my mind, but now I'm like going in and trying not to do too different. But I'm liking how it's looking, just kind of letting God help paint this. I'm in agreement with him. I'm like, let's paint a bear. So hopefully it's going to turn out good. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, I woke up in the middle of the night last night. Well, this morning, I should say. And it was 3:30 something. And so because it was so early, I was just like, I'm gonna have to lay here now, and that's kind of a pain to lay there until your alarm clock goes off. All right, I'm getting some more of this dark in here, and just see how I'm just doing these little tiny little brush strokes. And for me, I like when a painting looks painterly. I really do. I like it because it looks like it just looks more like art to me. But it's not wrong if you end up painting realistically, and this isn't the style you like, but it's okay. We all have our own way of doing things, and it's really cool that there's so many different ways to paint a bear, and that you all can have your own style, and it'll look like your painting, and it'll be cool. So right now I'm just kind of going back in. How are we doing on time? Oh, got plenty of time. So see, now I'm like kind of going in there with a little bit more of that darker color in there, trying to blend that dark color into the light a little bit, because it's not super highlighted. And see, this is that dark spot, and then there's some dark right here. And I might switch now to a different brush to get those real fine, like the little fine details in there. Let's see how I'm getting that in there. I like that. He's so cute. He's a cute little bear. Cute bear, scary bear. Which is there we go. I'm gonna rinse my brush. I need a new paper towel because that one was like could wring it out. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse my brush, get it nice and clean. And see, I don't really like that went in there and made that little cauliflower, but I'm gonna go in there and paint that dark. So it won't be too much of a problem. Now I'm gonna go small and see what we can do for some details on these eyes. I like to zoom way in, because then I can see without struggling. I might get that more wet. Let's see. And if you notice, the eye has some whites in it that are like the reflections. And so that's something that I can add with my white gel pen at the end. So there we got some eyes. Might do some of this Payne's Gray to do around the eye now. This is where I kind of stop talking and concentrate. Sorry about that. So I'm just doing this a little bit. It's got a little bit of dark in here. A little bit over there. And the mouth. He's nosy. Just a little bit right there. There's definitely some dark in here. That's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Let's do a little bit more on this eye. Look at that. His eye's coming out pretty good. Oh yeah, he's looking pretty good. All right. Let's see what else. I'm gonna put some of that darker Payne's Gray kind of under the eye. And then right in here. I can rinse that if I don't like how dark it turned out, and just blend it instead of having it stark. Same with this. I need to readjust my image so I can see what I'm doing better. See, I want a little bit of fur in there. And same with there. See, this should be dark so that that ear stands out a little bit more. just a little bit of that fur. Make it look kind of fuzzy, but we're not doing every strand of hair. If we did every strand of hair, we'd be here all day long. And you know, some people do paint and paint and paint, and they spend hours painting. And that's great. They can do that if they want to. But I am more of a, let's just paint it in an hour and see how it looks. Need more dark in there. See how that's defining it real good? You can give it a little bit more. And you can give this a little bit, you know, see how I'm just making that just kind of go in there a little tiny bit. But I like how he's looking so far. The mouth is going to give me some grief, I think. I'm going to have to be like, I don't know what I'm going to have to be. Yeah, that's looking really good. Giving that some definition. There we go. So, you know, go back in here, see how this is kind of losing some definition, but I'm going to go back in there. I'm going to give it some really cool texture. I like that. See? That's looking pretty good. I can do a little bit more in there. And right there. And a little bit right there. And if you use the side of your brush, you can get that kind of, just skims right over that, and that looks like it could be the fur. See how that's looking? Isn't that really cool? I may end up doing this a little bit. And so in here I might switch colors and just get that nice dark color in here. I'm just going to blend that into there. And see how that's just really adding some really cool stuff going on in there. Might make this a little darker in here, just to make it look more like his chest. A little bit more in there. But I have not done too much on his mouth. I'm like worried I'm gonna make him look too, what's the word? Too smiley? I don't know. Maybe too smiley. I'm closing his mouth, I think, a little bit, but just definitely makes him a happier bear and not a scary bear. You're doing a scary bear, I don't think. I do love doing all these little lines right in here. It just gives his face some definition. Yep. He's coming along. He's coming along. But this is like one of those things where it's like, what is appealing to you about this? Like, do you like what it's looking like? Do you want more definition? Do you want less definition? Or do you like the amount of definition that we've got in this bear? Let me know what you think. Oh, Christy, thank you. Yeah, he's looking pretty good so far. I'm trying to add a couple of these little hairs right in here because of the hairs are right there looking a little bit more What is it? I don't know. Got to get some more of those hairs in there so that it'll look right. But this is what, sometimes I didn't get the right colors in there, but that's okay. Because no one's going to really know if I got it perfect or not. They're just going to be like, oh, it's a cute little bear. And again, I just kind of let it go wherever I want. And that seems to be a little bit too much brightness right there. I'm going to tone it down just a little. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Let's see how that's looking like it should. And this is a darker area, so I'm going to get this kind of darkened. Same with right in here, a little bit more dark. And same up here, it's got more dark up here. And just a little bit on this ear. Just keep adding where I think there should be some more. Where I think there should be more shadow. But yeah, he's looking pretty good. And I just love how a watercolor looks when you start touching it here and there, and it just looks really pretty. But let's see, do some more of that. See how he's looking kind of more and more furry as I'm going along doing this. Let me see, a little bit of that. And around this ear, I want some dark to make that ear kind of punch out a little bit. Because if something's darker, it kind of goes in the background, and if something's lighter, it comes to the foreground. And that's kind of how I try to paint. If it's light, it's coming forward. If it's dark, it's receding. There. I could make him a little bit more, some more shadows in there. And I switched to this smaller brush just for more control. So yeah, sometimes I do have to switch over. Let's see. Maybe just add some more fur on this back part of him. Just make it look a little bit more realistic, but it's not super hyper realistic. So this is definitely, this is how I paint. I just give it some detail and then let your imagination fill in the rest. Let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's looking good. Now I may go back in now with that. Let's do a little bit of blue in the Payne's Gray. So a little blue and Payne's Gray I'm gonna add to make the water kind of more ripply. And the same over here, a little bit more definition so that you can tell that this is water. And then just kind of keep going back until you get, it's going to be kind of darker right in there. See how that's looking. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You gotta be careful if that bear is still wet, you won't want to touch that area. I do think I did some on there, but let's see. There, see? Just making that kind of look like water. And if you guys, oh, what did you say, Christy? You know me, I'm very detail oriented, and that can be bad when it comes to watercolor. Watercolor helps me not to be so uptight. LOL. Yep, that is so true. I always, well, I think that painting loose is kind of fun, to be honest, because it does free you up from having to paint every single detail. And this bear, he's kind of cutie. He doesn't need every little detail painted. I'm gonna do like this bluish color now, like a real watery Payne's gray to finish off his nose. And a little bit under his mouth. Super watery. And if I need to, I can always go back in with a white gel pen if I need to. Like his eyes aren't super white, but I'm having some of that white in there for some reason. But see, I like shadowing at the end with some blue or purple, or maybe even a little green, because then that makes it pop a little bit. Some people like to use the black to do shadows, but in my opinion, what it really looks like has more of a bluish tone usually. Okay, so now I'm going to make some waterfall going in here. These are just, I guess they're ripples. I don't know. Yep, like ripples. I'm gonna do this. Hey, Christy, how did your class, your Bible art journaling class go last week? That was a really pretty painting you did, or I think you used colored pencils. But yeah, that was really nice. I bet that everybody enjoyed that. Let's see, a couple more little ripples. And I can even add some blues just to give it some more color. Even if it's not in that. Sometimes we can have artistic license to do what we want. Okay, so now I've got that going pretty good. I want to go back into the background on the trees, which I only have another couple minutes with y'all. So let me just do this super quick. It may need my bigger brush. Hold on. A little Payne's gray, a little bit of blue, and look at that. And it's looking pretty good. Let's see. And this is where I could switch to a bigger brush. And I know sometimes when I'm done with the live, I just go and fiddle a little bit more, but I don't know if I'm going to do that today. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. To add a little bit of this brown. We're going to be painting birch trees on Sunday. Class on Sunday. And oops, went over your little ear. But that's okay. We can kind of erase if we're quick. There. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. I might end up darkening that because I like that really dark in the background. And I may end up, I don't know, do I want to make the background really dark or do I want to make the background light? Like I said, dark recedes and light comes forward. You love, Chrissy said, I love colored pencils and it was great. Awesome. Yeah, colored pencils, it's a lot longer process, but it's very satisfying. I enjoy doing that also. I think I may go in here with some darker, get my Payne's Gray going. I end up doing that because I kind of like the bear standing out more. So let's go in, let's get some lots of different colors in there and see what happens. Because there you can get your bear to stand out a little bit. I just hope my bear is not wet anywhere there. I don't think he is. Because then we'll have some green going where I don't want it. There. And see, I'm just adding a little bit here and there. Oh, so many text messages. So many. There. Kind of like that. And then just add a little bit here and there. And I'm not quite ready for, but I'm looking at his front legs and that color is not even close to that. So I'm thinking I might end up oh my goodness. I hope nobody's having a heart attack or anything. Let's see. Add that color in there and then see what happens. I know it's like that bluish color, but that's okay. And then what I'll do is rinse my brush, dry it, super dry, this thin one, and we're gonna just lift. And if we don't like it, we can always dab it. Dab it with paper towel. So I'm going to go back in there with some of this brown and the Payne's Gray and just blend it in there real good. That Payne's Gray is very bluish, so it's okay to use it. It's just shadow. And I like that. Let's see. Now I'm going to zoom back out and see there's some under here. Need that really dark. I've been kind of playing with some mixed media and some gouache, which is super fun. I always like gouache and playing with that. But I don't know if it's something that I can sell. I don't know if people are interested in buying that. So that's probably something that I will just do for myself. But I do like it. It's fun. All right, so now I'm getting his eyes a little more defined. Because you know, when you paint an animal's eyes, that's what really makes them come to life. And over here, he's got some more dark under there, under the eyes. And just adding some more. And this is where people are like, okay, it looks good. Why are you still going? Well, I might still be going because I'm having fun painting it. So that may be what, you want to just keep going because you're having fun. Let's see, a little bit of dark right here. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. Yeah, I like him. He does have a little bit of more of a bluish right here. Yeah, that looks great. Add maybe a little bit of blue right up in here. Maybe too much. See him lifting that up. That looks pretty good. But I can add some of that blue in there. Just keep pulling it in there. Just keep pulling it in. And adding some of this if you want. Keep darkening this front part. It's almost like the sun is coming almost straight down and from the right. Water this way, way down, and maybe do a little bit more under here in his mouth, and his nose. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Maybe in his ear. A little bit under here. And I'm just going kind of crazy here and there. But it's just kind of fun to add this little bit and make it look a little more shadowed. And see, as this is drying, I can add some more brush strokes in there. And then I could just keep going and going, really. So much fun to keep going, right? But that blue just kind of really makes it pop. I might add a little darker in here. But if you're ever like really intimidated by watercolor, start small, like a smaller sheet of paper. When I first started, when I was in my 20s, it was just a terrible experience really for me because I don't know, we had 24 or whatever, 24 inches wide by, it was like 3 feet by 2 feet. I don't know. It was a huge piece of paper. And it just made me kind of go crazy with it. And I was not super happy with the way it turned out. But I put everything away, didn't fuss with it again, and then 2020 hit, and my sister wanted me to paint her something in watercolor, and I was like, oh, I don't really do watercolor, but I pulled out some watercolors and fooled around with it for a while, and then I ended up enjoying it because I watched someone else tutorial on YouTube, which is Paul Clark. You've all heard me talk about him a million times, but really, if you follow him, you can't go wrong. I'm thinking his arms, his two front legs are not doing it for me. But I think I'm gonna have to wait for them to dry just a little bit more. I don't know. Got a little bit in there. And I'm like, yep, I'm not gonna wait. I'm impatient. I'm so impatient. There we go. But the weird thing about these is that it is more of a bluish color, I think, the shadows. And see how I'm just adding a little bit in there. I add a little more paint spray. And then add just a couple. You don't want all of this to be the fur texture. You just want some. And that's why you can get carried away and start doing things. And it's going to make it look less accurate. Because even though I'm not painting all the details, I'm still painting enough to make it accurate looking, I would say. Because yeah, I do like just putting a couple little fur things here. Just a couple. But he still looks like he's a watercolor. But I'm just doing a couple in here. And a couple in there. That's a little better. I could even achieve that with some white gel pen and then just dab it with my finger and it would be more, I don't know, it would look better, probably. I don't think that needs to be white. Yep, he's looking good. He's looking good. So, maybe a little bit more up here. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. He'll look good when he's all dry. And I can add a little bit of the gel pen work in his eyeballs, like to get, but I do kind of, I leave some white space. And so if you have white on a painting that you're painting and you need to keep that light, then you need to not paint the paper and leave it white. But if you do mess up, you can always use a white gel pen and it'll pop right back out. And I'm trying to look at it and not be too picky. Try not to be too picky. But that can be hard. Because we all get a little bit, we're more critical of ourselves than we are of others. And that's probably just because of how human nature is. We're harder on ourselves. We think we should be better than other people, I guess. So, but, scripture today. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. So, but I'm doing this Bible study, and it was actually yesterday's devotional, and but it's really, really good, and it's about worry. And so like last night, this morning, I woke up at 3:30, and I ended up just having a little bit of, I don't know, anxiety and worry, and just laying there and not really thinking about anything, but just kind of thinking about everything. And so this devotional this morning when I did it was really, really good. So Psalm 127, verse 1 and 2. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who built it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep. I need some sleep, huh? Instead of eating the bread of anxious toil. Yeah, do not want to eat the bread of anxious toil. And normally I'm not a worrywart, so it's kind of crazy that I would be waking up in the middle of the night and just kind of being anxious or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. It could just be too much caffeine or something, but I don't think so. I think it was just me wanting everything to go smoothly. And I do have some more arts and crafts shows coming up, and I have some commissions due this week, and I don't know. I know I'll get them done with God's help, so I shouldn't worry. And everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. We don't need to worry about other people having more time than us. We just need to use our time wisely, and sometimes we don't, and that's what makes us probably anxious. Is that, well, for me, I'm using my time not as wisely, but I would like to stop worrying about it and just trust the Lord. And so that's what I'm hoping for you all. I've gone way over. It's been an hour and 16 minutes. Here's a view of the bear one more time. Let me see if I can pick him up and show you zoomed in a little bit. So he is looking pretty good. Yeah, he's looking really good, I think. In the background, I think looks better darker. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be good. It's a good painting. He'll be for sale on Saturday at the Boss Babes holiday market in Robertsdale, Alabama. So if you are near Robertsdale, you should come by and say hi. I think they do charge $2, and it's going towards a fundraiser to help end trafficking, which is something that everyone should be concerned about and wanting to end. In fact, praying about that all the time. Pray without ceasing. So anyways, I hope you all have a blessed day and love you. We'll see you next Monday.